Hello and welcome to Brilliance Today, where individuals let their brilliance shine through their stories, expertise and philosophy, because they're on a mission to make a difference and leave a legacy. Introducing Brenda Dempsey, publisher, speaker and TV presenter. Get ready to be inspired.
Hello and welcome to Brilliance Today, and we have the Voices of Women series. I am absolutely so excited about this series and this book, Voices of Women, because behind every great woman are other great women, and the voices of women absolutely reflects that philosophy. And I've got a great woman with us today, so let's dive on in and introduce her straight away. So we've got Rosa Antonini. Hi, Rosa.
Thank you, Brenda. This is such a pleasure to be here with you, and I am so grateful. I told you that so many times because I really feel so much gratitude just for the fact that you select me to be part of this wonderful book with so many others, wonderful women to share a story or just to share some of the experience. So thank you so much. My pleasure.
Oh, it's wonderful. So rather than me introducing and do all these things, do you know what? I love challenging people to find their courage, step into their power, and talk about themselves in a way that they might talk about someone else. So without further ado, Rosa, tell us who you are, what you do, and what drives you in life.
Yes. So I am, and I start for, let's say, what I do. So let's say I am a software engineer. That's what I do. I work with data. I design solutions, and I'm very, very passionate with data. But eventually, I had a big passion since I grew up, right? I really would like to help others. And one of the things that I found is I actually tried to open twice a nonprofit that could help others, especially in the Dominican Republic. I am originally from the Dominican Republic. I've been living in the USA over 20 years, but originally I am from the Dominican Republic. So, you grew up being and seeing a lot of struggle, especially financially. And also, people suffering and sometimes dying because there is not enough resources. So I always felt I wanted to help in a little bigger scale. And what I noticed was that, like in my case and the cases I've seen, is that education and knowledge really can break this cycle of poverty. And I truly, truly believe on that. And the thing is, when someone learns a skill, right? It doesn't have to be like you go to college, right? Not everybody can go to college or can afford to go to college, but just learning a skill, then, it's very likely that their family life is going to change. They'll be able to send their kids to school. So that was a big passion I had within me. I just didn't know how to accomplish it. So the attempts I did for the nonprofit didn't work. And then there was an inspiration. This book was truly an inspiration because I know how to talk to computers. I know that's my, English is not my first language, as you can tell. So
you're doing great.
So that computer language I can develop, and this is my role, right? Writing a book, I have to say, was not part of, let's say, those goals. And I'm going to come to that a little bit later, Brenda, because I want to kind of emphasize that sometimes we try to define every step of the way of what we want. And the thing is, that can make it very difficult to accomplish that way. I think you have to have your target and then let the universe do its magic and help you get there.
Yeah, I love that. When we, we're trusting, and when we work with the universe in that way, we get ourselves to a point with our energy, and we look at the law of attraction, the law of compensation. There's so many different laws in our universe, but when we really start to believe in it and feel it and use it to our advantage, then you're right. You don't plan every single step. You have your starting point. What's the goal?
Yes.
How might I get there? And you have I call it a loose framework. And then because you don't know what door of opportunity is going to open for
Yes.
you. And that is the magic of trusting and knowing that the universe has got your back, particularly when your goal is around serving others and making a difference in the world. So I don't know where this conversation is going already, because
I
you
know
can
it went to another way. I
know.
was just saying about myself. So yeah, so that's how the book, The Zero-Sum Game of You, came to life. And I didn't know they were connected. I just felt this big inspiration to write about it without connecting the book to helping others. I really didn't see it at the time. I just have this big rush, and I'm like, what is this, me writing a book? I have so much difficulty with the English and the grammar, like it was just difficult. But there was a big instinct. There was this big inspiration. I used to dream about it. I used to get goosebumps when writing the book. So that's how it came to life. And then eventually I say, I'm going to donate these profits to, for this cause.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up in this self-development. So I always took it as, again, as a message from the universe, a higher power, that maybe my mission was not just to help financially, how I was trying to do, but it was also to give that internal power to the people so then they can build their future and the life themselves, which I think that only happened through that work of self-development, building that strong mindset, giving tools, practical tools that they can use to make the decision, make their life better. So that's how I think I ended up here.
But the thing is, what you've just said there, Rosa, brought straight into my mind the little saying, I think it might be African. Please don't shoot me if I've got it wrong, but I think it could be African. It's like, you don't give a man a fish to feed his family for the day. You give him a rod and you teach him how to fish so he can then be self-sufficient. So it's the same, and I think it's part of everybody's gift in life. Those lessons, the adversity and the lessons that we learn, the gift is to share that learning. What can you do? So when you give people skills of how to change their mindset, how to think, how to create habits, how to set goals, how to achieve those goals, how to be happy, and I say it's the greatest journey is the inside journey that we go on. The adventure on the inside is better than any external journey because we learn so much. So your story, as I say, really made me think of that. So anybody that empowers other people to do for themselves, wow, that's a legacy in itself. That's an imprint. That's a dent in someone's life. So thank you very much for that. So we know that you work in IT. We know you're already an author with the zero-sum game. And I love the fact that it's a kind of gamification of it. People love games, and it allows them then to not worry about the competition here, but the competition is ourselves being better tomorrow than we are today. But tell me, as a woman, because this is Voices of Women, tell me, what are you passionate about helping other women achieve and use their life to make a difference? What is it about women that really fires you up?
Yeah, so I think that, depending on the culture where you come from, there might be certain beliefs and just those restraining, I would say, belief, especially to women, that will get them back. It will kind of mentally, they might feel that they cannot do something, or that they should not do something, or that they should not speak up for something, or even following their dreams, right? So I think it's, for women, like I am parent and I have, 2 children, and, you work, you have to go, let's say, to work, and balancing that life, also making sure that, as a woman, you learn to set up boundaries for you to protect your goals, to make sure that your life is balanced. And I've seen many women's really, unfortunately, that, you know, they do things to try maybe to build a better, they think they're, you know, building a better environment for the kids. But then because there is not that time with the kids and that interaction, then it ended up that you can provide a lot of, let's say, financial stuff to your kids. But then there is the gap. That is the gap that is difficult then to pull together later on after those years when they're younger, if you don't build that foundation there. So that is one of the things that I discuss in the book, which is every day, make sure that you are working towards your goal, but always keeping in mind those high priorities. You need to define what are our priority. And as a woman, I really think we need to define our priorities, because otherwise someone else is going to try to define it for us, like at work, specific roles, a specific way of doing this, a specific way of doing that. And there is always like certain comparison, especially, you know, sometimes in the IT fields, you see that. Now, I never saw those things as, and I don't think any women should see any of those as disadvantage. I think it's better just to see ourselves as women, just like a human, right? So eliminate everything about male or women or, you know, every gender. Is more about, you know, just a human being with the same rights, with the same power, with the same, you know, basically just believing and building that self-confidence that you can get whatever you want to be. And I always suggest also keeping an open mind and continuous learning, right? And then forget about all the noise around, because there's always,
there's a lot of noise.
Yes. And I think that with that, it's not that we are turning an eye or getting blind to reality. That's not what we're doing. You understand reality, but you choose to make the better of it. Some things are going to change over time, and some things we cannot change from one day to another. But you start behaving and doing that you're looking for. What is it you want to see in other women? What is it you want to see in the world, right? So you start playing that role. And I think you use your voice as well, because one of the things that I see, yes, I think one of the things that I see, and I see this actually a lot in sometimes, many times in women position leadership, I feel that it's a little bit of walk on eggshell, meaning like maybe being too much politically correct or diplomatic, let's say. So that makes it that your voice get diluted, right? Where your message is not clear. What is it you stand for? And I think it's okay to express what you stand for. It's okay to bring up if something doesn't work, if you don't agree, just to, you know, be respectful, be kind, but make sure that your voice don't get diluted.
Can I ask you to share a story? We've all got stories, right? We've got to be good at storytelling. And I would like you to share a story, whatever one you want, about a time that was challenging, but it's been one of your biggest teachers, and the lesson you learned from it, you carry on through to today. So what episode in your life has really stuck with you? It could be in childhood, it could be as a young adult, it could be as a mom, it could be quite recent. But what's the one event, significant event, that taught you something about yourself and about humanity and about people that you believe in so strongly that it's part of the message and what you teach in the world?
Okay, so I mean, I have different stories, personal side and on the business side. I mean, I tell you one, there was a time in which I thought I was gonna change my career as a software development. And I'm telling you, I felt so overwhelmed during that time. I felt I hated my job. And this is something that since then I kind of, you know, write about it, about how to understand in the business if you really are in the wrong area of your, you know, professional life, or if you just need to change settings. So during that time, I really thought I didn't want anymore. I even called colleges to change my career. And I'm telling you, I love what I do. I am so passionate that I dream sometimes with data. I know what I'm going to do the next day. I can see the logic. I can see the images on my head. I can put all the models like together. Like I see them very clear. So to me, it's just a very natural thing to do. But during that time, I don't know, I got too much from everything and I just accepted. I didn't have boundaries, right? I didn't have boundaries and I just keep getting into. And actually, I lost my perspective, I think, for the first time in my life, of what my true priorities were during that time. And that's what happened when we basically lose sight of our priorities, because then you start going into a current that you're not even thinking. Things are happening such a fast pace that you don't realize that you might be going in the wrong direction. And that's why if you don't have the priorities clear, you don't know. So during that time, that happened to me. And I really had to call myself. And I remember like nothing was working. I was calling to colleges, to change and get another career and all this stuff, to get other job, and nothing worked. And that's why I always say, be grateful for those ungranted wishes, because there is a higher power. I believe there is a higher power and something that it helps us basically learn the lesson, but you have to kind of stick and accept if something is coming your way that is not what you're looking for. Because let me tell you, if I had changed my career, that would have been one of the worst things that could have happened. Then I just changed setting. I found a different place, a different, and then everything changed. And I was so happy. And it was this realization. I'm like, oh my goodness, it was nothing related to what I do, was nothing related with my skills. I was just in the wrong place. Like just something like that. Simple as that.
Keeping the fish theme going. You were a fish out of water. And environment is very important. I've seen it myself with my own children. I've seen one of my daughters in an environment. She was not thriving. She was drowning. And then things changed and she changed her environment. And now she is thriving. She has never been happier. She looks amazing, doesn't look her age. She's loving life, It's like she's got a second wind at living. And now she's living life on her terms. So I do get that whole change of environment. Even myself, I never thought I would leave Scotland. And here I am living just outside London. Who would have thought it? Maybe my mother, because she was English. But other than that, Anyway, let's get round to Voices of Women. So why did you say yes to being part of a Voices of Women, this anthology that focuses on women and female leadership?
Yes. So I think everything happened really, Brenda, because I have great respect for you. Oh. So if you have told me it was Voices or no Voices or any project, most likely I would have said yes, because I know your vision. I know what you stand for. So to me, I will be part of whatever you built. So I felt actually very grateful for that. So it really came from the respect I feel for you and admiration. So that's really what brought me. That's really what brought me.
You're going to make me cry. So those that listen to the podcast, I'm very moved for that, because actually, Rosa, you've just given me a aha moment in my life. And, I get them all the time when I'm in conversations with just some incredible people. And that aha moment is, and thank you for your kind words, but those very generous and kind words that you've just bestowed on me actually made me scared, because that's a massive responsibility on my shoulders when people see you in that light as a leader, as a role model, as someone who inspires them. That's something that we should never, ever, ever take lightly. And I think, I'm passionate and I'm driven and I always want to make a difference, even if it's make somebody smile and feel better because we've had a conversation, then, my job's done that day. But actually, I think I'm going to write a bit about this, Rosa, now, because I've just realized, I know there's people saying really beautiful things about me and my work, but actually it's the first time that it's hit me like this is a massive responsibility. And I think as a leader, we do have a responsibility talking about leadership. And for me, it's about being raw and real and living by example and not just what I say. It's really about if you like what I do and what I say, because it's about voice, then yeah, please follow me, take up the reins and develop yourself in these particular areas. So where do you see yourself as a leader in this world today? And where is that journey taking you?
I believe a lot in authenticity, which is one of the things that I love about you. And I love that when I see that in other women and other leaders, that they don't try to become like someone else, that they are not saying these things about, following a script, that they are not saying things for others to follow them,
Yeah.
I believe a lot. I believe 100% of being authentic, because we all have gifts, our own gifts. And nobody will know those gifts unless you show yourself how you are, right? You express that it's you. So, I believe in those, and that's what I try to do in my posts. And I have, in Instagram, like, I post a lot of motivation and other social media, but that's my main one. And that's always what I try to do. Make sure that the person understand that they are good at the way they are. Just get better in terms of your journey. We all have different journeys, right? And you have to
absolutely.
you have to follow that dream, but don't lose yourself in it. Be authentic, be you. There is nothing wrong if you believe in something, if you want to talk about something, be you, because there is this concept that has nothing to do. Let's say you can become rich, you can have whatever you think will make look someone successful. But if you don't get a self-fulfillment, then it doesn't matter how much you get next to who you are sitting. It really doesn't matter. Self-fulfillment is what gives you that sense of, oh, I'm good in my skin. I love this life. And it's like that sense of peace and just contentment, like you're satisfied. And that self-fulfillment can really happen if you're authentic and you keep, chasing your dream, working towards your dream, but being authentic, because that's what's going to take you without losing who you are along the way.
Exactly. And I've got to say, I want you to obviously listen to this back when it comes out, but I'm actually going to cut that clip for you because that was so authentic. And I think that's, and it's like the women that's in Voices of Women, there is an authenticity it runs through each and every one of us. And you attract like-minded people. So I see in you that authenticity and you see in me. So it's a reflection of who we are.
Yes.
And straight away, I was at an event at the weekend. Better not say too much about what the event was, but I sat beside someone who was very, their business was very successful, but they couldn't strike up a conversation.
Oh.
And me,
yes.
I'll even talk to them all, and the environment wasn't very conducive maybe either. But anyway, and I just thought to myself, what's the point of all being pristine and, look at my business? If there was a sense you can see within people, if there's a sense of happiness, fulfillment, purpose, and actually just being themselves. And it doesn't matter whether I remember I met a wee man once. He was a cleaner in a hospital. And I said to him, oh, you're doing a really great job. Thanks very much, because I do believe in thanking everybody from the CEO to the cleaner and everybody in between. And he went, oh, that's so kind of you to say it. He says, but I want to tell you something, because he was a wee, he liked his conversation as well. He said, I don't understand people. I come to my work, I'm cleaning this hospital and I'm making my part in this job, because if you've not come to this hospital and it's not clean, you're going to ask me why you're not doing your job well. No matter what your job, you should do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And I don't care whether you're a cleaner, a CEO, and I nearly showed my age there. I don't know, the marketer, the admin, the person on the front desk. You have to show up at work in your best version of yourself, because the difference you make to people, if you're a front-facing person, when you just have a smile on your face, is incredible. It's all about what's being perceived, you know? So authenticity all the way is what I say. So we're kind of getting to near the end of this conversation. They're very short and sweet. But what's your hope for Voices of Women moving forward?
I hope that a lot of women join into this movement and start really being, you know, showing their voice and also supporting other women. You see, like women, they're not competitors, and not to see others like, you know, just to see them like, you know, a big family, you know, like a big family, and help other women if you can. If you're in a position of power, or, you know, anything that you can help them go up as well, because, you know, it shouldn't be just while someone is at the top and then, okay, they help keep the other ones down. No. Leadership means that you bring and you make the other be the best that they can. And that includes other women. So let's just, I want to see more women helping each other with authenticity, not following a script, right? Yeah, just because they really want it, because they will celebrate those women also having success. So that is my, that's really what I would like to see.
Oh, thank you. And as I say, great leaders create more great leaders. That's what it's about. Living by example, authenticity, being raw and real, walking the talk. These are all my kind of little phrases that I only realised not that long ago. But I've been saying these all the time, you know. It's like, you know, how some folk go, well, that's brilliant, or absolutely fabulous, amazing. We've all got a language that our body loves to hear. So brilliance is mine. So for that. Anyway, Rosa, there's a lot more to come. And thank you very much for talking to me today. Thank you very much, even more so, for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your vision, and giving people some ideas of what they can do. And yes, this is the beginning of Voices of Women, and this is a movement that's going to take the four corners of the world. And I can't wait till we start planning on what comes after we launch this incredible book on the 20th of July. So last word from you, Rosa.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you and everyone that is listening. And I would just say, really follow Brenda. She's amazing. She's amazing. And she really will help other women. Like, you're really great example of women helping other women. So anyway, go and take a look at this anthology. There are many voices there, but remember, your voice is what counts, right? There are many voices out there, and the book can be done just with so many voices, but in reality, it's your voice that counts. Don't forget that your voice is important. Your voice matters. So this is just an example, a tiny little thing of representing all your voices. Your voice matters.
Thank you very much. So there we have it today. Another Voices of Women, Rosa Antonini, in this brilliance today. And make sure you let your brilliance shine and those gifts that you've been given for the world. So this is Brenda saying, be brilliant. Much love until the next time. Toodle pip.
That's it for this episode of Brilliance Today. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. For more information or to contact Book Brilliance Publishing, visit bookbrilliancepublishing.com. And remember, do different. Be brilliant.